Hi YouTube, it's Kathy and I'm here to talk about my Round 7 TBR for the Queer Lit Readathon. This of course is taking place June 6th through 12th. We have this beautiful bingo board. You can use it however you choose. You can try to get the corners, you can try to do a line, you can try to black it out like I always do, because as a hostess of the readathon I feel pressure to do so, but you shouldn't feel that pressure. Use it however you want. I have 10 books on this TBR, although I can black out the bingo board with just the first 9. I kind of want to read the 10th as well, so I'm just throwing it in there. Let's start with the ones I have physically and then we'll go through the ones that I'm going to be reading digitally. The first one being our group book, which is Freshwater. Not only is this the group book, but it also works for Not Set on My Continent, as well as going towards the 40% plus BIPOC square. That square, if you missed my announcement, which I will link down below, is covered not by one book, but by making sure that at least 40% of the books on your TBR are by BIPOC authors. I also gave the synopsis of this book in that announcement video, so I'm not going to do it again here, so if you need to know it, just check out that video. Next we have Small Courage, a queer memoir of finding love and conceiving family. This was kindly sent to me by the author, and it's actually written by an author that is from the province that I live in. So I wanted to save it specifically for around a Queer Lit Readathon because I wanted to be able to highlight it. This one counts for the memoir square as well as the religious square, and I'm going to read the back to you so you know what it's about. Rarely do we know what life will hold. When starting the adoption process, Jane Byers and her wife could not have predicted the illuminating and challenging experiences of living for 2 weeks with an evangelical Christian foster parents of their soon-to-be adopted twins. Parenthood became even more daunting when homophobia threatened their beginnings as a family, seeping into places both unexpected and familiar. In this moving and poetic memoir, Byers draws readers into her tumultuous beginnings, her coming out years, finding love, and the start of her parenting journey. Small Courage is a thoughtful and heartwarming examination of love, queerness, and what it means to be a family. I'm looking forward to it, and thank you again to Caitlin Press for sending this to me for an honest review. Next, we're digging into the books I got out of the library, and the first one is The Miseducation of Cameron Post. From my understanding, this also covers the religion square, but I picked it up mostly for the hard-hitting contemporary square. When Cameron Post's parents die suddenly in a car crash, her shocking first thought is relief. Relief they'll never know that hours earlier she had been kissing a girl. Honestly, that's all I really actually know about this. I'm not going to read the rest of the synopsis because that's all I've ever known, and that's why this has been on my TBR for a super long time. I just haven't picked it up until now. It's my understanding that this has small town vibes. Obviously it's filled with grief because of the death of her parents, and then also I'm pretty sure religion does play a part in this. If not, I've got it covered by other books. Next we have another book from the library that might not show up well on camera because it's got that plastic coating, so let's just find out. That is The Summer of Us. I don't have a front-facing viewfinder, so I can't tell you if this is going to be annoying, so I'm actually just gonna pop up the image of the cover. The synopsis on the back of this one is quite brief. It's London to Paris to Amsterdam, Prague to Florence to Barcelona. This was the trip they had been planning all year, the one they'd both been talking about since middle school. And it was finally here. If you know me, you know I love to travel. You know that I was supposed to go to Europe last year and obviously didn't for really good reasons, so I'm looking to live vicariously through these characters. I picked this one up because obviously it has summer in the title, so I'm assuming summer vibes. It's also not set on my continent. And although I couldn't find anything in the synopsis, I have a feeling that at least one of these characters needs to be M-Spec. M-Spec, if you missed it before, is multi-sexual attraction, so people who are bi or pan or fluid, those types of identities all fall under M-Spec. All I really know is it's about 5 teenagers going on a trip to Europe, and some of them have dated each other's best friends and that type of thing. I don't know for sure if this is going to cover M-Spec, but I'm really hoping. Also, this seems like the type of book that would bring me joy as well, although the last book on my list I specifically only put on it because I'm pretty sure it's going to bring me joy, even though it's the last on my list, because 9 books in a week is hard, 10 books in a week is harder, so we'll see how it goes. The last physical book on my TBR is Jonny Appleseed. This is about a two-spirit indigiqueer main character, so it's intersectional as hell. It's also been recommended many a time, and I finally got my hands on a copy. Off the res and trying to find ways to live, love, and survive the big city, Jonny has 1 week before he must return to his home and his former life to attend the funeral of his stepfather. The 7 days that follow are like a fever dream, stories of love, trauma, sex, kinship, ambition, and heartbreaking recollections of his beloved Kukum, grandmother. Jonny's life is a series of breakages, appendages, and linkages, and as he is going through the motions of preparing to return home, he learns how to put together the pieces of his life. Jonny Appleseed is a unique, shattering vision of Indigenous life full of grit, glitter, and dreams. Again, another book that's been on my radar for ages, but I finally picked up a copy. Next, specifically for the Vintage Square, I'm going to listen to the audiobook of Orlando. All I know about this one is it is written by Virginia Wolfe. It was published in the 1920s, and it features a main character who I believe is gender fluid. That's all I really need to know to go into this. I also know that there was a movie made starring Tilda Swinton, so maybe I'll watch that if I can track it down that week. And looking at the synopsis, it's apparently also been called the longest and most charming love letter in literature, which sounds just great to me. Apparently it also takes place in Elizabethan England. For the prompt shorter than a novel, I picked up a novella called That Could Be Enough by Alyssa because I love her writing and I love her novellas. From this one, you might get a Hamilton vibe, and that is definitely intentional. Mercy also knows the best thing to do with pesky feelings like love and hope. Avoid them at all cost. Serving as a maid to Eliza Hamilton and an assistant in the woman's stubborn desire to preserve her late husband's legacy has driven that point home for Mercy, as have her own previous heartbreaks. When Andromeda Steele shows up at the Hamilton Grange for an interview in her grandfather's stead, Mercy's resolution to live a quiet, pain-free life is tested by the beautiful, flirtatious, and entirely overwhelming dressmaker. This is an angsty but fluffy FF novella with a happy ending for both of our intrepid heroines, and that's all I want. Next, I have another library audiobook, which is Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars. I'm picking this one up for the underrepresented identity category, the question mark, which is choose your own adventure. For me, that is going to be far-fetched fun because the synopsis of this is exactly that in my mind. And there's also a very good chance that this will bring me joy as well. Fierce Femmes and Notorious Liars, a dangerous trans girl's confabulous memoir, is a highly sensual, ultra-exciting, sort of true coming-of-age story of a young Asian trans girl, pathological liar, and kung fu expert who runs away from her parents' abusive house in a rainy city called Gloom. Honestly, there's more to the synopsis, but that has me hooked. That's all I need to know. Final book for my library is a graphic novel, and that's America Volume 1, The Life and Times of America Chavez. This is here for the superhero square. All I know about this one is the main character is a superhero. I have no idea what her powers are. She is a lesbian and she's Latina. It's a Marvel comic, so I'm expecting quality. I'm pretty sure Captain America makes an appearance as her sidekick. I am excited. The final book on this list, the one that I might not get to but I really hope to, is one that I've been meaning to read for a super long time and just haven't done it yet, and that's Be Dazzled by Ryan Sala. This is the first thing I picked out for the Brings You Joy category, although other books on this list could fill that. I'm really hoping I also get to read this one. Raffi has a passion for bedazzling. Not just bedazzling, but sewing, stitching, draping, pattern making for creation. He's always chosen his art over everything and everyone else, and is determined to make his mark at this year's biggest cosplay competition. If he can wow there, it could lead to sponsorship, then art school, and finally earning real respect for his work. There's only one small problem. Raffi's ex-boyfriend, Luca, is his main competition. Again, there's more to the synopsis, but that's all I know and that's all I need to know. I absolutely love this type of creative expression. I used to take sewing lessons as a child, so even though I haven't done it in a very long time, I know what goes into making, say, a ball gown or a swimsuit, because I've made those things. This has been on my radar for ages, and I just seriously want to read it, so I hope that I get the time this week, and if not, I'll just read it the next week. There we go, those are the 9 or 10 books that I hope to read, 5 of them being by BIPOC authors, which takes off that last square. What are you going to read for the Queer Lit Readathon? Please let me know either by using the hashtag, which is QueerLitRead, or by letting me know down in the comments or posting your videos. I'm often looking to see if anybody's posted TBR or if anybody's put it on Instagram or Twitter. I would love to know what you're reading. Which obviously just makes my eventual TBR that much longer, but that's a problem I'm okay with having. If you're excited about me reading any of these books, let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you're on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that is down below, as well as the link to my PayPal and my Amazon in case you would like to buy me a book. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!